Hey all, and welcome back to Fuzzy Ducksy Gaming and the last video in the series for farming for a Mageblood. Apologies, my voice is even worse than usual today, I don't know what's going on. The video is going to be quite a quick one, A, because of my voice, and B, I decided to finish the series off with a strategy I didn't like. What I planned to do was run Delirium, running between City Square and Tropical Island. City Square is really small, so it's very quick to get your Deli Orbs and kill the boss. Tropical Island is the opposite. Really, really linear, takes a bit longer, but leads to many more splinters dropping in the maps. What it does tend to do though, because you will run a Scarab of Mania, is it gets harder as you get towards the end of the map. And my build wasn't quite good enough to do it effortlessly. And I noticed towards the end of Tropical Island, I was struggling DPS wise. So I ran the map for about an hour, really didn't like it. It was already clear it wasn't as profitable as previous strategies, but in part it might be due to my character being quite weak. It was profitable. I found 2 of the Reverence memory threads, so that was 7 divines, and I looted 48 Deli Orbs and 4 full Simulacrums. But after an hour, I just decided to call it a day on all of the series in terms of farming and just run the leftover stuff that I had in my stash. So I had 2 Exarch invitations, 4 Simulacrums, and I finally had enough to send a 17 mil shipment. So we'll go over the shipment first. It was bad. At first glance, it was awful. It was a handful of divine orbs, 3 sacred orbs, no mirror shards. However, when inspecting closer, we hit some big tattoos, including a spell suppression one. So in total, the shipment was about 17 divine, so it wasn't the end of the world because I haven't paid for any uniques. This is just stuff I've been building up over time through farming and disenchanting. In terms of the Exarch invitations, so far I've run every single one that's dropped in this strategy and haven't dropped anything. My luck finally changed, and in the second and final invitation I had, I dropped a Forbidden Jewel, which I sold unidentified for 9 divines. Probably could have got a little bit more, but I just wanted to get it sold. With this, I've probably now got enough to actually get a Mageblood once I convert everything and I sell my Deli Orbs, but I thought I'd actually run the Simulacrums. The reason being, I knew my build wasn't going to be good enough to do probably the last 3 rounds unless I got really favourable mods on the map. The idea was to just go in, blitz the first 10 to 11 rounds. As soon as it gets difficult, I just leave and load up another one. It's around 10 to 11 minutes per Simulacrum if you do it this way. And it paid off because the first one I ran, I dropped an unidentified voices, which I sold for 11 divines. Again, at the time, I probably could have got a little bit more for it. I did run the rest of my Simulacrums, but dropped nothing more of note. I dropped 3 split personalities that were terrible and 1 megalomaniac that was also terrible. So after I sold up all the loot, including the Delirium orbs and everything valuable that dropped in Simulacrum, which to be honest was just the voices, I'll go through the currency stash and what we're left with, and also what's left over that you could sell if you wanted to or use on different strategy. So if we look at the currency tab, we've got 233 raw divines, about 3/4 of a divine in chaos, some exalts, lots of other random currency that you're probably not going to sell, and then some exotic currency that isn't worth anything. If we go to our dump tab where we were keeping all of the loot, we've still got some things I haven't sold. There's some scarabs, there's this tribute, there's tons of T17 maps, Guardian maps, and then all of these T16.5 maps. Haven't done anything with these yet. I decided not to sell them because I didn't need to, and I might want to run them in a strategy later down the line. If not, I will just bulk sell them. So overall, I think we've probably got about 250 divines worth of loot. So in terms of a series overview, I pretty much enjoyed every strategy that I did, other than the one I tried this time but abandoned halfway through, and they were all really, really profitable. The only thing I'll say is to get good profit, you have to be efficient. It's the only way you're going to turn over big divines per hour. Doesn't matter what strategy you run. If you're only running one map every 10 minutes, you're never going to make a ton of currency. My next video is probably going to be a video going over the points I recommend you follow to kind of farm efficiently if you want to make big currency in a couple of hours. Like, you may not want to farm like this the whole time because it might end up being not fun. But if you just want to sit down for a couple of hours session and just blitz content, farm loads of currency, I'll go through what I do when I set up kind of my play session to make sure that I get the most out of it. That's kind of it for the video and the series. Appreciate everyone that's dropped by to watch any of the videos and left any comments. I'm not sure what's next on the channel. I'm away for a week on Friday, so I'm probably not going to have any videos up for a couple of weeks. So while I'm away, I'll have a think about what I want to do for my next video or my next series. Probably not going to get into POE 2 at all next release unless there's a ton of new content and big changes, which I'm not expecting. So I'll probably stay on the POE 1 League for quite a while yet, and then focus on content for the next one when the time is right. Thank you very much for watching. Take care and see you in the next one.